Grief, colon and lungs, your immune system. I've had patients who went through a divorce, or maybe, I'll give you an example. I actually had one patient, her daughter, who was her best friend, moved off to college, and she was her best friend, and after a year or two, she developed this autoimmune disease because she still felt separated from her daughter in the sense of loss and grief of losing her. Anxiety. We know anxiety is really connected to the heart, the small intestine, and the central nervous system. Anxiety is and will cause disease in those organs. So here's the thing. I'm going to jump into nutrition here in a minute, but whenever I speak, I want people, whatever you're struggling with, or when you go back and see patients, it's important to understand, if somebody has and is experiencing these emotions chronically, it's going to build up disease in those specific organs. And we can change the diet, we can do certain other things, but in order for them to be completely free and healed, we have to deal with the emotional aspect of health. There's a lot of ways to do that. One of the ways that I do is I work with patients, and I have, for example, my mom, who is struggling with a lot of fear and worry. Again, we turn in the Bible, and she's just started working on, reading Matthew 6 and Psalms 23, and just filling herself with that knowledge, knowing that she's not a victim, knowing that if he's for, no one can be against her, and just reciting those things. There's a lot of ways to do that. If you've got a lot of anxiety, throw some Epsom salts in a bath with lavender oil and soak, But work on these. I don't have time to get into all of it today, but again, it's really important just to understand that these emotions cause disease in specific areas of the body. All right, let's jump in and talk about herbs and spices and how these were used to heal the body. Here's something I'll tell you as well. We do not get enough herbs and spices. Did you know if you compare turmeric or ginger or cinnamon to kale and broccoli, we think kale is awesome. Kale is king, this and this. It pales in comparison to turmeric, ginger, and holy basil and rosemary. It pales. Rosemary and holy basil are like literally 100 times more nutrient dense in phytonutrients and antioxidant compounds than kale and broccoli.